Hey everyone, we're going to get started for our Career Q&A live today. Just making sure everything's set up over here. We are streaming across a few different platforms right now. So if you are joining us on Instagram, LinkedIn, or YouTube, huge welcome. We're going to get started in a sec. Happy Friday. All right. I'm so excited to do this with you guys. I know it's been a little bit since we came live here together, and I thought what better way to end the week than to answer some of your burning career questions and support you and where you're at in your career right now. Hello to everyone joining us over from LinkedIn. I see some amazing faces joining us over right now on Instagram and YouTube. So please, let's keep this fun, dynamic. Bring your questions, and we're gonna do this thing together. So I know we are already at about the halfway point of the year, and so really excited to come live and get this back going for us each week to support you in your career. If you are new here, my name is Tiffany Human. I am former L'Oreal senior director, career coach, now supporting incredible women to level up in your career, whether that's landing better roles, achieving faster promotions, showing up with confidence. We love empowering you to do that and do it in a really practical way that just works. And so, if that sounds good to you and you are really eager to step into that in your career right now, that's what we're here to do. So, we're going to have some fun today. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining over from Instagram, LinkedIn, or YouTube. I think we are rocking and rolling. Okay, amazing. And please say hi in the chat. Let us know what's coming up for you right now in your career. Again, this is really fun and informal. So let's keep it light. Let me know what questions are on your mind right now, maybe what your biggest struggle is right now in your career that I can help you on. I'm just going to be looking a little bit to the right to make sure that I'm seeing everything coming through our chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. But so good to see some familiar faces here as well and some new ones. And again, if this is your first time joining me on a live, well, welcome. Hopefully, the first of many. I always love doing this, ideally every week together to help you in your career. I know there's a lot of information out there, it could be very overwhelming or nerve wracking. And my goal is always to make it as seamless as possible, make it easy, make it fun, and help you get the results you want faster. So please don't be shy. We did get a few questions ahead of time from our newsletter community, so I'm going to be taking those ones also. But please don't be shy to share your questions. I should be seeing them coming through in the chat, and we're going to get it going. Okay, let me just see here. Want to make sure I'm not missing any right now. Okay. And please let me know as you're coming in where you're joining us from and what kind of work you do. That's always really helpful. And so I don't forget because I always want to make sure that you know everything that's going on in our world that can support you and help you reach your goals faster. I'm actually putting together a private, free live masterclass this month specifically for women in corporate who are actively working, looking to whether grow in your organizations or perhaps make a move somewhere else. And this is a really intimate event. It's one that we're keeping fairly intimate and close so that we can really personalize that experience for you. Spots have already been filling really fast, but if you are doing the work and you're getting results, but you're not quite seeing the growth in the way that you want, we don't want you to hit any growth ceilings. This is the perfect moment in the year, is that halfway point to course correct and make sure you're doing the right things the right way. I'm actually partnering with our amazing co-coach and former VP of product management at Walmart Global Tech, Trisha Dallahan, and we're going to be hosting this for a select group of 100 amazing women. So if that sounds great to you and you want to be there, please be sure to save your spot. If you're joining us over on Instagram right now, just comment grow on today's live with me. So GROW, grow, and I'll be able to DM you the details right after this. And if you are joining us over on YouTube or LinkedIn, just head over to my LinkedIn page. You're going to see the link there to join us. You could also shoot me a DM if that's easier. But just make sure that you are saving your spot because we don't have too many left, and we want to make sure that you can take full advantage of this. It is a private event, a free event, so that you can really level up in a really meaningful way and not get in the way of your own growth and landing incredible opportunities. So hopefully we see a lot of you there, and I can't wait to support you in that. And for today, let's jump into some Q&A together. So like I said, we got a few questions ahead of time. I'll take first. And as you're thinking about any questions that I can support you on right now, please know like there's no such thing as a stupid question. Chances are if you're thinking it, someone else is thinking it. And we want to keep this really open. So perhaps it's a struggle that you're facing right now in your career. Maybe you are feeling stuck in your workplace, or you're dealing with a pretty big issue or challenge that you're not quite sure how to navigate. These are the types of things that we support our clients on every day to get the roles that they want and level up a lot faster, secure promotions a lot sooner, make more money, all of the things. So let's make sure that we're setting you up for success in that as well. And if it's your first time here, welcome again. So happy to have you. My name's Tiffany. I'm a career coach, CEO, and love supporting incredible women in corporate to land better roles and grow faster and lead with confidence so that you can reach the goals that you have for yourself a lot sooner than later. Also, always coming from a place of very practical guidance, having lived this myself, having done this with my teams at L'Oreal, and also, of course, supporting our incredible clients every day to reach the goals that they want a lot sooner. Okay, so as I'm waiting for some of the other questions to come through, I'm going to take some that came through ahead of time. And if you see me looking a little to the right, I'm just scanning to make sure I'm not missing any questions from our amazing audience today. And please, again, don't be shy. Let me know what you're struggling with right now, what your questions are, what you're dealing with, what you really want to know. There's a lot of information out there, so let's make it a little bit easier and actionable for you. So one of the questions that actually came through this morning from our amazing newsletter community was around networking. And I have to say, this is something that comes up pretty regularly in what really prevents people from networking. I think most of us know that networking is important. It's important in building your relationships and building your exposure and visibility, whether for internal growth or external growth opportunities. But what tends to block people, in this particular individual, Angela, who shared the question with me this morning, was not wanting to feel like a burden when you're reaching out to people. And, feeling like, what do I have to offer these particular network connections, especially if it's a new connection at a company that you want to join or someone that's more senior than you. So in Angela's case, what she was sharing is she really wanted to reach out to a new connection at an organization she has her eye on, but she's like, I don't even really know where to start, and I don't want to just come off that, I'm bothering them, or that this is a burden for them, or that I'm asking for something. So I'm going to share a few golden rules here that you can apply as well. The first golden rule when it comes to networking is that this is absolutely relationship building focus. Okay. So it's not about just having an ask that you're bringing towards someone. You want to network in a meaningful way right out of the gate. And I always love the analogy of thinking about being on a first date with someone and being on that first date. You haven't met them. This is the first time you're meeting, and the other person is asking you to marry them right off the bat. You're probably going to be pretty turned off by that because you don't know this person yet. You haven't built any trust, and you don't really owe them anything. And so you want to think of networking in the same way. If you're going to reach out to a new connection and automatically make it all about you and what you need and what you want, that can actually be, a really, really big turnoff because they don't owe you anything and they don't know you yet. So first golden rule, and especially to make it feel meaningful and not like a burden, is start with them. Share a specific detail that drew you to them, that made you want to speak with them, that caught your attention. And that could be like a multitude of things, right? It could be the role that they're in right now, or the recent promotion they've just had, or something that they've shared on LinkedIn that caught your attention, or maybe the company that they work for that's one you really admire. You want to try to pull one key fact or observation about them that makes it really personalized and will allow for a faster response rate back. So this could sound like something like, Hey, Jennifer, I came across your profile and noticed that you are a senior PM at Amazon, and I love the work that you've been doing there over the last year and a half. This is a direction I'm also really interested in and would love to learn more about your experience there. Something like that still has, a little bit of intentionality as to why you're probably getting in touch with this person, but you're bringing a bit of flattery there. You're acknowledging their path to make them feel good about themselves. And when you make people feel good about themselves, well, guess what? They feel good about you and they're more willing to help and reciprocate. So that's golden rule number one. Golden number two, I kind of just shared it, but you want to keep your message very personalized and focused. So, more about them, less about you, but bring some level of intentionality so that they know, why you're reaching out. You don't want to leave it so abstract that they have no clue what you're talking about, but you also don't want to make it too detailed where it just makes them run in the other direction. So, finding that nice, short, sweet type of outreach message is really important. And I would say the third golden rule is just don't get discouraged if people don't respond right away. I can tell you, we see this a lot with our clients and what's going on in the market today, that people are busy and they don't necessarily respond overnight. But that doesn't necessarily mean something about you and that you should stop networking. You just want to keep going. So it really is about finding that balance of quality and quantity. If you're reaching out to just two people in a week and they don't respond and you're like, oh my gosh, Tiffany, like networking doesn't work. Well, obviously it doesn't work. You're not giving yourself enough chance for success. But if you're getting some decent hits out there, right, in the dozens, then you're going to start seeing a lot more traction. And you're also going to be able to learn from your own outreaches what's working, what's not working, and what you should change or adjust so you can refine that better. So, moral of my story here, and for Angela, thank you so much for your question today. I want you to feel really comfortable doing this and start small. You don't have to do 50 outreaches in a given week. Start and build. Rip off that band aid. Find that level of personalization so it feels authentic, it doesn't feel forced. And you're going to start building that habit a lot faster. And we see with our clients every day the amount of responses they get in return for their outreach because they are coming from such a genuine place. And by the way, if you guys are interested in learning a little bit more around like reach out strategies and follow up strategies, my upcoming newsletter for next week is actually going to be focusing on this. So if you are joining me over on LinkedIn or YouTube, you can actually just go right to my profile and join my newsletter from there. We publish it 2 times every week with actionable tips to help you land better roles and grow faster and lead with confidence. But if you're also joining us over from Instagram, just comment learn right now on the live, and I'll be able to share the details with you to join our readers there to level up with me every week. So just comment learn if you are joining from Instagram. That way you'll be able to take full advantage of our upcoming newsletter and our past issues as well. Okay, so that was Angela's question. Really good one. And I just think something that's really pertinent. It's probably one of the most common questions I've been getting recently. I'm going to just scroll down here and make sure I'm not missing any questions from those joining us over on Instagram or LinkedIn. But we did get a couple of other questions that came through ahead of time. So I can definitely come back to those as well. And again, if you haven't shared yet, please let me know where you're joining us from. What is like your number one question right now when it comes to careers? What's the thing that you need the most help on? Where are you feeling stuck or blocked? I want to make sure that we are getting you unblocked to achieve the goals that you want and do that a lot faster. And I will say, and I shared this in my Instagram story the other day, but this is like the most important moment of the year. I can't tell you how many times I see, especially, professionals, women who just pull back because summer's around the corner and they're like, oh, I'm going to just like take it easy and kind of pick things back up in the fall. But that is so detrimental for your growth because other people are not slowing down. AI is certainly not slowing down. And it's never been more important to build up your soft skill strategies, which is what we focus on a lot with our clients, because that's what makes the biggest difference to get you from here to here and doing it a lot faster. So please take advantage of these lives and Q&As that I'm hosting each week so that we can also support you and make sure that you are making the right moves happen and betting on yourself. That's like the most important thing you can do. The best time was yesterday. The next best time is today. So glad that you guys are joining us here today. Okay, one of the other questions that we had was around communication. This one came through from Michelle, and she was talking today about an upcoming executive presentation that she has, and she gets really nervous for these. And so her question was like, how can I better control my nerves when speaking to executives? Like I know my stuff, but it never really comes out the way that I want. So I definitely have a few insights for you here, Michelle. And again, I'm going to share some best practices. The first is actually a mindset best practice when it comes to speaking with executives, because often where those nerves come from is because they're either more senior, they're more seasoned. And so it almost creates these nerves for you that you're going to be put on the spot or that you don't want to look bad or say the wrong thing. But I really want you to remind yourself that when we look at an executive presentation as like me versus them, right? So it almost feels like combative, like I'm on one side of the table, they're on this other side of the table, whether physically or virtually, and it's like you're going at it together. That can feel really nerve-wracking. But the mindset reframe I want to give you is actually looking at it as us versus the problem, the challenge, the opportunity, right? Because when you actually come at it as, hey, I have this to present to my executive team, and I'm actually the closest person to this area of the business. And so I have the most latest and relevant information to guide that decision making. It's almost your duty to be able to do that so that together, right, us, we can make the most informed decision. And I find that just such an important shift to really reduce your nerves and almost position yourself as like a thought partner to them, right? And so remind yourself that you are the closest person to your area of the business. You know it best. You might not be as experienced or been with the company as long as some of your executive team, but that's okay. That doesn't matter, right? They are counting on you to share these insights so that together, again, us versus the problem, challenge, or opportunity, you're able to make the most informed decision. And that goes a really long way. So I would highly recommend that as a mindset reframe. Another key piece that's going to help you in terms of controlling your nerves is obviously preparation. And probably one of the most important areas of prep in an executive meeting is knowing what the outcome is that you want to achieve. So, what are you looking to get out of that meeting or conversation? And two, what are the key messages you need to pass to get to that outcome fastest? Okay. And so this is critical because otherwise you can actually get really long winded. You can have messages that are not impactful, and that will actually hurt the delivery of your messages in this executive meeting. And that could impact your perception and the relationships and how they view you, which will slow your growth. And we don't want that. So, number one, what is the outcome that you're looking to achieve from this conversation? Is it an approval? Is it an alignment? Is it a feedback? Is it a brainstorm? Is it a resource allocation? Right? There could be like a whole slew of outcomes, but really nail down what is that core outcome? And then what you're going to do is almost work backwards to decide what messages do I need to share in my presentation to get us there fastest. There's probably going to be some context info that you need to provide. There's probably going to be some maybe considerations, rationale, or like data points that you're using. There's probably going to be something around strategy or recommendation that you're going to be providing as well. And you probably want to have a clear call to action at the end of what you need, right? So I find when you structure it out in that way, it actually helps so much in your preparation so that it reduces your nerves going into those executive meetings because you've already got a game plan. And one thing I was actually sharing with some of our clients yesterday that they found really helpful was actually thinking already of how you can condense your message. So this is the third tip, okay? The first tip was the mindset reframe. The second tip was really doing the prep in terms of outcome driven first and then working backwards to determine what are those clear messages that you need to get there. And the third is a little bit of a pressure test, okay? Because we understand that sometimes timing can be tight in these meetings or you might be rushed. And the last thing you want is for you to just talk like a mile a minute where they can't even keep up with what you're saying. Well, what I would much rather that you do, Michelle, is practice if you had like just 1 minute or 2 minutes to share what you have to share in this meeting, what would you share? And it's a pressure test that you can do for yourself ahead of time that shows that in an instant, you can actually distill your message really clearly and quickly and effectively, right? And so when you're doing that type of prep work and pressure test ahead of time, when you're in the moment, if you are thrown a tangent or you are short on time, you're actually able to focus in on like, okay, this is still what I have to get across. And it actually reflects so well on you because it's like, wow, like Michelle got cut by like 15 minutes on her time and she was still able to like deliver a pretty effective message to us and what we needed to get out of that conversation. So the more that you start practicing that, the better. And I will say a last pro tip, Michelle, for you on this is definitely pre-vet your ideas. So for any type of executive presentation, and this could go for other presentations that aren't even executive meetings, but particularly helpful for executive ones, the pro tip here is pre-vet your ideas or strategies ahead of time. And you're going to want to pre-vet those ideas probably with your boss, but other decision makers who might be in that executive meeting with you, or even just other influencers in your department or divisions or sister divisions. And why that pre-vetting is important. And you're going to frame it as, I have this meeting coming up. This is something that I'm going to be presenting. I would love to get your input on what I'm planning to share to see if there's anything I might have missed or anything that you believe I should include to reinforce my message or the outcome, right? And you're going to do that with different stakeholders who have a level of influence in the company. So that way you're factoring in possibly any objections they might have or resistance, and you're allowing yourself to include that in your messaging so that when you do actually have the real thing, the real moment of truth, if you will, in front of your executives, you're really prepared. And if those people are in the meeting with you, guess what? They are now a further ally to you because if you're getting challenged on something, you could say, oh, well, it's a great point that you bring up. I actually did review that with Leslie on X team, and she reinforced this part too. So I've actively considered that in my considerations here, right? And so you're using this to your advantage, which is again helping to build your credibility and confidence in executive presentations. So I could go on this all day, Michelle. Something we focus on a lot also with our clients in role play practice and making sure that these nuances are really well captured. But hopefully that already gives you a good gauge to go off of. And if you really are enjoying these tips, I shared it a little bit at the beginning of today's live. I'm actually putting together an amazing free private live masterclass for women in corporate, actively working women who are looking to grow in their organizations or maybe make a shift somewhere else. And we are going to be really pulling back the veil of what it takes to avoid hitting growth ceilings. And especially in today's market, what you need to focus on first and foremost. And so I'm actually partnering with our amazing co-coach and former VP of product management at Walmart Global Tech, Trisha Dallahan. And we're going to be really going through that step by step in this private masterclass of what you need to know, what to do, how to do it, so that you are setting yourself up for the most success, avoiding growth gaps that hold you back, and what really matters today. I do a lot of work with different companies like Microsoft, and we're seeing such a pulse of what's needed on the inside in today's work and environment more than ever. And so we're really excited to bring those insights forward. If that's something that any of you are interested in joining us for, I highly recommend saving your spot sooner than later because they're filling fast and we are capping it to keep it really intimate. If you are joining us over on Instagram, just comment GROW on today's live and I will share the masterclass details with you in your DMs. So just comment GROW there. And if you're joining us on LinkedIn or YouTube, just head over to my LinkedIn page. You're going to see the link in my recent post and on my profile page that you can sign up for as well. But we can't wait to have you there. It's the most important moment of the year. If you're feeling like you're doing the work, you're still feeling stuck or stagnant and not where you hope to be by now, or you're just putting a lot out there and not necessarily getting the results that you want, this is the time to fix that. And it's hard to fix it when the strategies that you've been using have not been working. You need new strategies. And so that's our goal, to share what those strategies are, because they're quite literally working very well for our clients and wanting to help you be able to show up as your best self as well. So really excited to have you guys there. All right, let's see if there's any other questions coming through. I did get one additional one that I can tackle, but I do see one coming over here from Megan over on Instagram. So Megan, I'm going to come to you next. Let me just see. I think that was the recent one. Okay, so Megan, hopefully you're still joining us over here. I'm going to pull up your question. Megan's question was, I'm curious about strategies to advocate for a promotion. I'm unable to get clarity on next steps, even though I've always excelled in reviews and have demonstrated tangible business outcomes. Oh, I love this. We were just helping three of our clients with that this week because, as you know, it's also kind of around that performance review season. And similarly to you, they had been in that situation prior where they were doing great work, they were getting good feedback and reviews, but like either the goalpost kept moving or they weren't really getting the actionable feedback to close the gap to your promotion. So, a few thoughts here for you, Megan. Being explicit is so important when it comes to advocating for your promotion. And when I say be explicit, I mean being very clear about what your hope and expectation is, but also backing that up with the right information and data. Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. First and foremost, you want to get very clear on your track record and evolution. Because when it comes to advocating for a promotion, it's not just about what you've done, but how what you've done has prepared you for that next level of growth. And often a promotion is really the sign of confidence that you can take on that next level, right? But you already almost have to showcase that in your current role to solidify that readiness. And I say this a lot, but I'm going to say it again because it's not just about feeling ready for your promotion. You have to be perceived as ready by those making the decision. And so if you feel on your end, Megan, that like you're doing all the things and you're like, why is this not happening yet? It could be for a few reasons, but probably one of the reasons is that the perceived readiness from decision makers isn't quite where it needs to be. So how do we fix that? Well, you're going to want to make it very clear of how much you've evolved in your current role and maybe even outgrown it to a degree, and what you've already been doing to prepare yourself for that next step. A quick pro tip here is actually speaking with people who are already at that next level of growth so you can pull insights as to what's helped them make that jump from your current role to that next level. And the more that you understand what that is and that nuance, you can actually layer that into those conversations by saying, these are the things that I've done. This is how I've really grown intentionally in my role over the last 6 months or last 9 months or whatever it is. And also in stepping into my next promotion of X, I understand very well that XYZ are important factors. I've also had the opportunity to speak with so and so, so and so, and so and so at that level, and they've really reiterated how important that was to help them make that shift. Here's what I've already been doing to really deliver on that to further solidify my readiness for this next role. So this is what I mean by being very explicit, right? You need to like map it out. And one of the other key things that you're probably going to want to do is make sure there's no gaps, right? So this is a lot of the work that we go very granular on with our clients that we help because there's a lot of nuance here, right? In terms of internal culture, decision-making timelines, what promotions look like, how to close those gaps faster. But ultimately, you want to make sure that there's no gap standing in your way, right? So you want to ask a very direct question as to like, this is where I want to go. Is there anything outstanding that would prevent me from securing that by X timeline? Right? I would much rather, Megan, that you have clarity as to what that looks like for you, even if it's a constructive feedback. It's better off that we know that feedback so that you can action it rather than just like hoping for the best and it just doesn't happen. And then you're next thing you know, you're in your role for a year, 2 years, 3 years, feeling really stagnant. So you'll notice from what I'm sharing, there's a lot of kind of communication nuance here. I would love to support you further on that too, Megan. I do hope you've had a chance to sign up for our upcoming masterclass. You definitely should be there with us. Just comment grow, and I'm going to share the details with you if you haven't already. But it's really very much going to be focused a lot on this and growth strategies overall to help you level up and secure faster promotions. Our clients on average are securing their promotions within 8 to 12 weeks in working with us because we really see very clearly where are those gap areas, what is holding you back. Like I said, in your case, it could be that decision makers don't quite see that perceived readiness. It could be perhaps a lack of proactive communication of exactly what you want and why you want it and how to close the gaps to that. It could be perhaps a lack of exposure or visibility. So maybe you're doing the work, but not enough people who are influencing that are seeing it. So it's kind of getting lost in the shuffle. These are just some really common patterns that we tend to see with the women we support, Megan. So let me know in the chat if like any of that is resonating, if you can see where those gaps might be coming from. But I would definitely say, again, be explicit in your communication, be clear about timelines, get clarity on where you need to close those gaps. And if it's just a question of timing, if they're like, oh, Megan, you're on the right track, keep doing what you're doing, that's not helpful feedback. You want to have actionable feedback. So you always want to keep asking questions. and asking questions to get closer to what it is that you actually need to do to get there. That's what's going to help continue to really close that funnel to secure that next step sooner, especially if this is a company that you want to grow with, right? And that's a great thing, right? We just need to make sure that you're not falling into any blind spots there that actually keep you stuck in your role longer than you should be. So hopefully you can join my upcoming masterclass. Like I said, it's coming up this month. You totally need to be there. It's specifically for women in corporate that are looking to level up like yourself and achieve more growth, faster promotions, more money, level up in their leadership and communication and confidence. So just comment grow if I know you're joining me from Instagram. So just comment grow right now on Instagram in our live and I'll share the details with you. And if you are joining us over on LinkedIn or YouTube, just head over to my LinkedIn page and you'll be able to see the link to sign up also for the upcoming masterclass. We're keeping it really intimate, so please don't sleep on this. We're going to be closing up enrollment pretty soon because we want to make sure that we are giving a lot of dedicated attention to our amazing attendees there. Okay, great question though, Megan. Let me know if that's helping, if you're seeing already how like the wheels might be turning of, okay, I think I need to do more of this or less of that, or I haven't been as proactive here perhaps, even though I've had good feedback and good reviews. Okay, fantastic. Let's see if there's any other questions. Like I said, I had another one. Oh, yay, Megan. Okay, great. I will see you at the masterclass as well. Can't wait to have you there. And if you know of any, women that you're working with who you feel are like in a similar boat that can benefit from having this really up close and intimate masterclass around what you actually need to do, what it actually takes right now. I'm not talking strategies from like 5 years ago, guys. Like this is like real time insights because things are shifting so much. And so myself and my team were constantly iterating to make sure that you are focusing on the right things in the right way with the right support. And we're so excited to share that. That's why we're keeping it pretty intimate so you get the most out of that experience together. And there's also going to be some fun surprises for you joining us. So hopefully you can all make it. Just comment grow again if you're joining us from Instagram right now, and I'll share the details for you. If you're joining us over on LinkedIn or YouTube, just head over to my LinkedIn page and you'll be able to sign up there as well. But it's been filling pretty quick. So I love to see it. It's like the perfect moment of the year to do that. Okay, good. Let me know, guys, if there's any other questions. We are rocking and rolling. I'm so glad that we have a chance to bring back our career Q&A lives. I think there's going to be some weeks too, guys, that I'm going to do more kind of training style. So if there are any topics that are really like top of mind for you right now that you're like, oh gosh, I would love to know more how to do this or how to be better at that, like let me know. You can send it right now, right in the chat. I'm going to see it on my end, but you can absolutely also DM me directly. And that way we can integrate that for upcoming lives that I do here with you. Okay, fantastic. So one of the other questions that I got ahead of time, I think I'll take that one next just because I'm waiting on a few other questions coming through. And again, please don't be shy. This is our time together. We're ending the week on a high note. It is Friday. We're heading into the weekend. Let's make sure you go in feeling inspired and ready to take action. And just as a note, if any of you are joining me live here and you are not already part of our incredible Peak Performers newsletter community, like stop sleeping on that. I share my newsletters 2 times every week with like actionable, practical tips. Our members absolutely love it. And it's so helpful, especially because we're always pulling out the most recent insights and strategies that are going to help you the most. And I love sharing that with you every week. So just comment learn if you're joining us from Instagram. I'll be able to send you the details to join us there if you're not already a part of our newsletter community. So comment learn. And again, if you're over on LinkedIn or YouTube, you could just access it from my profile, and LinkedIn, head over to my profile too, and you can access it directly from my link in bio there as well. Okay. So one of the other questions that we got from our newsletter community. So there you go. So one of it was around handling a pretty challenging situation. So this particular situation was when they were spoken over in a meeting. And so this, if I recall well, I believe it came from Janet this morning. And she was sharing that she was in a work meeting just this past week, if I'm not mistaken, where she had her whole thing set. She was going to run it through in one of her team meetings. And there's this particular leader that she works with, not on her direct team, but on a sister team. And he just like has the tendency of constantly like talking over her or cutting her off. And she's just been fed up. She's like, Tiff, like, I need your help because this keeps happening and I don't feel like I'm holding my own in those meetings. And it's like getting really frustrating. And I get that. I know how frustrating that is when You want to show up as your best and own your voice. And then here's this person who keeps cutting you off. And so it's really important to maintain control in that situation, not just let them like steamroll you and then you kind of take a back seat. So in the moment, Janet, as that is happening, you're going to want to do two things. The first is actually kind of stop them in their tracks, but you have to do that respectfully, even if they're not being super respectful. So let's say you're in the middle of saying something, and then I don't know what his name is, but let's say it's John, and John just starts cutting you off. What you're going to want to do is quite literally cut him back off, but say something like this. Or you could say, John, thanks so much for jumping in on this. I actually wasn't finished, and I would love to finish what I was going to share because I have a feeling it will address what you wanted to bring forward. And if it doesn't, I'm happy to come back to that at the end. So something like that just keeps you in control. It keeps you in the driver's seat. It kind of puts John in his place, and that's going to allow you to continue, right? The other thing that you're going to want to do in the moment is just keep things on track and control what you are going to be saying and ensure that that still stays in flow. Because often when you're cut off, it can lead you to feel destabilized. So if you need to take a quick moment, Janet, in that second to just think of like, okay, where was I again? Take it. Okay. So you can use like a little bit of a filler statement here saying like, okay, so coming back to what I was sharing, and that's just going to give you that like snippet of time where you can actually go back and be like, okay, now I know where to resume, right? But you're not destabilizing yourself and you're not letting John throw you off either. The pro tip I have for you here, though, Janet, and especially if you're joining us live from the question that you shared today, is you probably want to address this with John or whoever this person is. I've just fictitiously made up John. But you're going to want to address this with John one-on-one afterwards, okay? Because like you said in your message to me this morning that it keeps happening. I don't want it to keep going again and again and it's like he's not learning to stop, right? So having a one-on-one feedback conversation is going to be really important. And you could almost frame it as something like this, right? You could say, John, I definitely appreciate your willingness to want to jump in and share your insights as I'm presenting certain project updates in our team meeting. And then at the same time, I do like to have ownership on the delivery of my message. And when you do cut in as I'm still speaking, I don't believe that's the most respectful way of us interacting in these team meetings, nor do I think it sets the right example for the other team members. And so, as a next step, I would much prefer that if there is something you want to share, to please wait until I'm finished. And that way we can address it at that time in a more respectful way together. Would that work for you? And so, like this, you're acknowledging their behavior, but not in an attacking type of way where they're going to become very defensive. And you're also ending with a solution that they can get behind. That's like a pretty low lift, right? And then this way, Janet, if it does happen again, well, now you have this conversation to hold them accountable to, right? Like you're pretty much putting it out there that, hey, I don't want that to happen again. And if it does happen again, you say, John, we literally just talked about that 2 weeks ago, and it happened again. So can you walk me through maybe why that came up again? I thought we were aligned on that. I thought we had agreed that that wouldn't be the case anymore. And now he has to justify himself to you as to why he did that. And so it's at least going to keep things forward moving while protecting yourself, protecting your credibility, protecting your authority, and building up your voice and your confidence in moments like that. And I know it's not easy. We actually do a lot of role play practice with this with the clients that we support because those moments can be, a wide array of situations. And we just never want you to have it work against you, right? You deserve better than that. It's your career. It's super important for you. And we want to make sure that you are set up for a lot of success. So hopefully that helps give you a good gauge. And again, I would love to see you at our upcoming masterclass. I think we were talking about that earlier by email, but again, for anyone joining our live today, again, huge welcome. So happy to have you here. We're going to be doing these every week, typically every Friday with me. So I'm really excited to have you here with us and leveling up together. And just comment grow if you're joining us over on Instagram right now so that you can take part in my upcoming free private live masterclass. It is for women in corporate who are looking to push past growth ceilings and make sure you are not just doing the work and getting results, but getting the outcomes that you want. Maybe it's landing a better role, a more senior position, achieving that promotion faster, right? Making more money, leveling up your leadership, building better team dynamics, whatever that is, we're going to be covering all facets of that within our upcoming masterclass. And I can't wait to have you guys there. If you're joining us over on LinkedIn or YouTube, just head over to my LinkedIn page, my LinkedIn profile. You'll be able to save your spot there too. Okay, these are some great questions, guys, that are coming through. Let me see if there's any other ones that I want to make sure I'm not missing any. Okay, but I think we are in good shape. I'm going to just make sure that before we wrap up, I didn't miss any, but I think we covered most of them. And perhaps before we wrap up today, let me know again in the chat what kind of topic you'd like us to cover for upcoming lives. Like I was mentioning a little bit earlier, I'd love to also do some trainings here with you guys and make sure that you're getting the most out of these sessions, not just Q&A focus, but also themes or topics that are really pertinent for you. And by the way, if you do want to check out any of my free resources, you could absolutely do that right on my website, tiffanyhuman.com. You'll see we have a whole section on free resources. I have free trainings there. You could also check out my YouTube. We have some great videos for you there as well. Just search Tiffany Human. You're going to find me. And of course, if you do love the idea of leveling up each week and having actionable tips sent right to your inbox, I actually publish my weekly Peak Performers newsletter twice every week for you. And our members love it. That's where a lot of the questions from today's live came from, because we're very in tune with our community and want to make sure that you're getting served in the best way possible. So just comment learn to join us there if you're joining Instagram right now with me. And then if you're over on LinkedIn, as an example, just go to my profile and you're able to sign up for my weekly newsletter right in my link in bio. And by the way, guys, by joining my newsletter now, I'm actually going to send you one of my most popular guides, which has about 50 scripts, like exact scripts and scenarios to be seen and be heard and get promoted faster. And it is a must have in my books for anyone looking to grow in your career, whether in your company or making a move somewhere else. So please be sure to sign up with us so that you can snag that. It's going to change the game for you. We've gotten so much incredible feedback from that free guide and the 50 scripts that I break down there in a lot of depth for you. So we remove that guesswork. All right. Wow, this has been a lot of fun, guys. I think I covered everything from what it looks like. I'm just scanning to make sure I didn't miss anything in the chats. Let me know if you had fun with me today going through these questions. And again, please don't be shy. Would love to take, any questions that you have up and coming as well. Always happy to support you on that and make sure that you're set up for so much success in your career. This is the moment of the year, guys. It is June. We are almost halfway through the year. If you are at a point where you're like, I'm just not where I thought I'd be right now, or I'm feeling stuck, I'm feeling stagnant, or I know I'm capable of so much more, that's what we're here to do, right? We are all about supporting incredible women to step into those levels of growth and roles and confidence and communication that's going to take you from here to here without the guesswork. So if that's your jam, well, so glad you had a chance to join me today. Make sure to join my newsletter. Like I said, just comment learn if you're joining us from Instagram, because I share practical strategies and tips there every week with scripts and tips and all of the good things. Our next newsletter is going to be fire, coming out on Monday, all around follow-up strategy. If you're joining us over on LinkedIn, just go ahead and sign up in my link in bio. And either which way, I'm going to be sending you guys, as you sign up for our newsletter, our amazing free guide, which is the 50 scripts and strategies of how to get seen and heard and promoted a lot faster. So you definitely don't want to miss that. And for all of you who have signed up for our upcoming masterclass and commenting grow, or signing up over on LinkedIn, I can't wait to have you there. It's coming up really soon. It's quite literally going to change your life, and I can't wait to have you there. We are not holding back, Trisha and myself, in sharing the best practices and strategies that are working right now for our clients to land new roles in 8 weeks, to secure their promotions in 8 to 12 weeks on average, secure average $40,000 raises and counting, and just level up in their career in a really meaningful way. And so if that sounds good to you, I can't wait to see you there. Again, comment grow before we hop off our Instagram live together so I can share those details with you. Or if you're joining us on LinkedIn, just head over to my profile and you'll see I have it linked in a few of my recent posts. And YouTube, same thing. Just head over to my LinkedIn. That's probably going to be the best place that you can find it and sign up. But I had so much fun with you guys here today. Thank you for joining. Hopefully you found this helpful. I look forward to seeing you back here next week. The time might be slightly different, either like late morning, early afternoon. We're normally constantly hovering around that. So I really look forward to continuing to support you. And please don't hesitate to reach out if something is on your mind, if you are at that point where you really want more hands on one-on-one support to take your career to that next level. I would love to speak with you. I'm just a message away. DM me on Instagram. If you're part of our newsletter community, obviously just shoot me an email. I'm really easy to find. Or just send me a LinkedIn DM. Can't wait to chat with you guys a little bit more. And on that note, I will see you in the next one. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend. We'll talk soon, and I'll see you in the next live next week. Bye.